Hey, what's going on, Set Apart Gardens family? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? So, man, real quick today, I ain't even gonna say today, but I was just thinking, I was watching the video, and the video was called Why Black Farmers Aren't Complaining. And I believe it's from Tiffany's Farm. I'll tag them. I'll link the video down below. But real quick, man, as y'all can see, we got a new female German Shepherd. She is 2 years old. Her name is Dahlia. So she's going to be my second dam, or female who will breed for me. Luna is my first, and as you can see, I got her back there with Chase. So we're gonna work on getting us a litter. She is actually AKC registered. Chase is also registered, ACA, American Canine Association. So their pups will actually be registered American Canine Association pups. So that's coming soon. If you know anybody looking for high quality German Shepherds, and she will most likely have a few white, all white pups, because she has white German Shepherd in her lineage. But anywho, man, I was watching that video, and I was just soaking everything in and taking everything in. Got the garden, man, everything beautiful. I was just taking everything in, and one thing her father was saying is that black farmers, the reason why we aren't complaining and a lot of the older black farmers aren't complaining is because of the systemic racism with the USDA, discrimination practices, of course, all that type of thing, and how basically black people for so long, black farmers for so long, have had to be debt free and not get in debt, and not have a lot of overhead and pay cash for things, and really just just get out there and work the land and keep the system out of their pocket. And I was just applying that to myself, because I was thinking, like, man, this is a great season to be a black farmer with everything that's going on politically. And I'm just checking on the sheep real quick. They still getting adjusted. I just put them in their pen. When I just got them 2 days ago, just put them in their pen, so they adjusting. As you can see, that's them over there. They in the corner for some reason. But I was just thinking, man, it's a good season to be a black farmer, because of the simple fact that me specifically, right? Buying my property, buying my land and everything, and starting farming, I haven't taken out any loans. I never used a loan. Look at the sheep. Yeah, they beautiful. Yeah, I just want to make sure, because I just seen them just laying right here in this corner all day. And of course, they got to get acclimated, because the guy that I bought them from, as y'all saw in the video, when we went and picked them up, he had them in stalls. So they're not used to a big old paddock like this. You know what I mean? So they just, they just little culture shock right now, but they'll get it together. They'll get it together. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I've never taken any loan. I've never signed up for any programs. Now I am a registered farm, you know what I mean, with the USDA. And this is the thing. This is a I don't want to say a misconception, but from my experience, like, I know people say, oh man, there's a lot of money out there for black farmers. There's a lot of money, grants, this and that and the third. But bro, it ain't even really like that. It ain't really like that. Just being honest, especially not for black men. And I can't speak for black women, but I don't think it's like that either. A lot of these things, and this is what they were saying in that video, the money that's supposed to be for us, people find loopholes around it. As you can see, when they were trying to pass stuff for black farmers, the white farmers got mad. It's stuff like that. So I say all that to say, it's a beautiful season to be a black farmer, because especially coming from my position, everything I've built on this land, I've built. Every fence that I put up, and not just me building it, but from my own money, my own pocket. I haven't taken out any loans. I haven't taken out anything. All the equipment I bought. I just have to do it at a slower pace, because I'm paying for everything out of pocket, and I'm doing everything on my own. And that's what a lot of black people do. A lot of black farmers do. They do it on their own. You know what I mean? So that tractor that they got, they probably bought that second hand and fixed it up. You know what I mean? Or they finance it, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times, a lot of black farmers don't really do loans. Some of them do, But just for from the history of everything, you know what I mean? Especially with the discrimination, a lot of times, you know, we don't, that's not really our avenue. But the thing is, and what I've learned from my last 4 years in farming and building this farm, this small farm, a homestead from the ground up, you learn to be resourceful. We are resourceful people. Black people, black farmers, we are a resourceful, survivalistic people. We're going to figure out ways to survive. We're going to figure out ways to do what needs to be done, even with the lack of funds or the lack of whatever the case may be. Even though there may be lack, we still figure out ways how to do things. Just found a glove on the ground, need that. But we figure it out, right? And so that's why in this season, black farmers aren't complaining. That's why this is a great season to be a black farmer, because we weren't dependent on government subsidies and loans and grants and different type of things that kept a lot of farmers propped up. We are not dependent upon exploiting cheap labor, you know, from illegal immigrants. We're not dependent on that. You know what I mean? Because you got to think, man, that's how a lot of these farmers get rich and are able to profit buku money, because their workers, most of their workers are, you know, not supposed to be in this country, and they get to pay them $3 an hour, $4 an hour, $5 an hour, $6 an hour. And, you know, of course, they might house them and all that type of stuff. And, you know, but they able to not, you know, they don't have to pay them a livable wage. You know what I mean? And they able to kind of undercut, if you will, and still, you know, retain profit. Black farmers haven't been like that. We've been in a way purged out of the farming industry. You know what I mean? Through different things like what you saw in the Pickford versus Glickman settlement. Hopefully y'all can't see my tag. I don't think y'all can. You know, the Pickford versus Glickman settlement, where it was proven that black farmers had been discriminated against. You see what I'm saying? But it's a great season to be a black farmer, especially when you are resourceful, when you put in the sweat equity. And look, this is not a shot to any other community, but I'm just speaking on my people. That's all I can do is speak on my people, because I am black. I can't speak for white farmers, but I can speak for, you know, the black farmers who I've seen who've built their farms from the ground up, who've put in the sweat equity, who've came out of their own pockets like I've came out of my own pockets, and really just doing it and figuring out ways, even when, you know, we don't have all of the resources that we may need or want, we still figure out a way to get it done. And so it just feels good, because we don't have the risk of going, a lot of us don't have the risk of going bankrupt and, you know, being in perpetual debt and having the perpetual overhead. We don't have to worry about that. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, we're not slaves to the system. You feel what I'm saying? Because what does the Bible say? The borrower will be slave to the lender. And, you know, of course, some of us, you know, has debt like mortgages and stuff like that. But I'm specifically talking about farm debt, where you need this loan and you need this crop to come through so you can make this back, pay that loan, keep this profit, all that type of stuff, you know. But, you know, it's a good season to be a black farmer. It's a good season to be a resourceful farmer, not just a black farmer. Are these grapes? I know these are not grapes. Look at these, y'all. Are these grapes? These look like muscadines. Boy, if these are muscadines, oh my goodness. I don't think these are grapes. These can't be. I gotta look this up. Because if these are grapes, oh man, because y'all saw me making wine. This will be perfect for some wine if these are some muscadine grapes. Wow. I don't know, I'll see. I'm gonna look it up. But it's a good season to be a resourceful farmer. To be I don't really like to use the word self-made, but for lack of better terms, a self-made farmer. One that has, you know what I mean, got it out the muscle, got it out the mud, regardless of race. You see what I'm saying? Because it's, you know, but, you know, I'm just speaking upon my community as well. But for those of you who are self-made and who your livelihood doesn't depend on political policies being passed, you know, as far as your farm and different things like that, depending upon these government agencies, you know, kudos, you know. But yeah, man, shout out to that channel, man. That video right there, man, it just got me thinking. It just got me being grateful, you know what I mean? And just like, man, wow, you know, black farmers really aren't complaining right now, you know what I mean? Even though if it's only a few of us, but we are on the rise. We are getting back to the land. We are leading the movement to get black people back to the land. So get back to the land, man. Like I always like to say, if you're given the power to feed you, you're given the power to starve you. I'll see y'all on the next one.